Hello friends, it is Wednesday night, which means it's time for another family night craft brought to you by the Northeast Branch of Reading Public Library. And this week we are starting to celebrate of our first month that's sort of summery here at the library with watermelon folding paper fans. So pretty much everything you'll need for this will be available in a go pack, available at the Northeast Branch Library starting today while supplies last. The only thing you'll need that we don't have are scissors and some glue, and as always, if you don't have them at home, no worries, just let us know. We're happy to provide you with them. Oh, also, you'll need some sort of black crayon, marker, pencil. If you don't have that, we can get that to you as well. But in your bag will be 2 popsicle sticks. I'm using the jumbo kind, but you could use the regular too. And we have 2 pieces of red paper. Some bags will have pink for a cute pink watermelon. A piece of green paper and a piece of white paper. The first thing that we're going to do, I'll put our other supplies to the side, but we are going to cut 4 strips, thin strips of green paper and 4 strips of white paper about the same size. You could also cut them a little bit smaller than the green paper, but we want to try to keep all of our papers around the same width and just cut 4 of each. All right, so I have my 4 white strips, my 4 green strips. So now it's time to glue them onto the paper. So you could use squeezy glue for all of this, but I prefer to use a glue stick just for the strip gluing part. So you want to glue these onto the tops and bottoms of each paper along the longest edge. So I take the longest edge of my paper, you can see here, and I'm going to put the green strip farthest on the outside and the white right next to it, sort of like the outside of a watermelon is green, and then right inside after you finish all the watermelon meat is sort of like whitish or light green right outside, right before you get to the outside. Doesn't need to be perfect. Okay, and you want to do this for the long edge of both pieces of paper. So this other edge and then the same thing on the other paper. Okay, so you can see both of my papers are the same now. So the next step, the last one before we start folding, is I'm going to draw little black watermelon seeds all along each border. So sort of on the red, right next to where the white is. Okay, so now you can see I have all of my watermelon seeds on here, so we're ready to fold. So have you done an accordion fold before? If you haven't, it's pretty easy. So in this case, we're going to start in the long end, and basically you're going to fold towards yourself first. And then you're going to flip it over and move away. And you alternate between forward and away until you meet the whole length. And you just want to make sure that your folds are sort of even, they're going on top of each other. And when it's all folded up, it sort of looks like the bellows of an accordion, which is why it's called an accordion fold. So you just keep folding back and forth on top of itself. And you want to do the same thing to your other sheet. So I want to hold this up as reference so I make it about the same size. Let's see. That should be good. All right, so now my folding is done. So what we want to do is glue these two pieces together. Now what you want to make sure you do is make sure your seeds are all pointing the same direction, that you have this colored strips on the same side when you glue it. So you want to take two strips where they sort of face in the same way, put a line of glue and glue them together so that it makes your folded paper a little bit longer. Okay, so I'm just going to let this dry for a second, and I'm going to go grab a piece of yarn or string. This should be in your bag as well, actually. All right, friends, I've had a bit of an outfit change because I let mine dry overnight. You don't need to let yours dry overnight. I'd say like maybe 10-15 minutes will do, but you can see my pages are all glued together, so it has a much longer strip. So what I'm going to do now is just put it back into that accordion. You see if you pinch it in the middle, it makes almost this like bow-like shape. So that's what we want to keep. What I'm going to do is take my string and tie a knot. I like to double knot it to make sure it's secure. Once you've got the knot done, you can trim off the edges. All right, so now we can have like a fan-like shape. What we're gonna do is glue this again. So you're gonna put some glue here and then leave it to dry a little bit. You might need more or less time to let it dry, depending on how much glue you used. So I probably used a little bit too much. So I'm letting that dry a little bit. Oops. If you have a binder clip or something, or a paper clip, it might be nice to help keep it together while it's drying. Or you can do what I'm doing and just sort of hold it in place for a little while. Once that's dry or relatively dry, the last step we're going to do is take our popsicle sticks and add a little line of glue down about 3/4 of each one. The last quarter is what's going to be sticking out so you can hold your fan more easily. Hopefully you get a bottle of glue that squeezes out a little bit better than mine does. Okay, so once you have the glue on there, you're just going to stick it on your paper fan, onto the edges that are sort of alone here, and we're going to let them dry. I'm going to flip it upside down to dry so they're resting on the table. Give it a little more support. Okay, so we're going to set this to dry for a moment. This is what it looks like right now. All right, so I'm going to take a chance and see if our fan is basically dried. So to store it, you'll fold it like this. It almost looks like a wedge of watermelon. If it keeps wanting to burst open, what I recommend is pressing it after it's completely dry for a while under a book or two, a stack of books, and then I'll press it and make it nice and flat. But when you're ready to use your fan, we're going to put our popsicle sticks together and it'll fold into this beautiful fan here. So now you have a wonderful watermelon fan to keep you refreshed and cool in the summer, just like eating our favorite treat. I hope you enjoyed this week's craft, and I hope you join us next Wednesday for another family night from Northeast Branch Library. Bye friends, and have a wonderful start to your summer or end of your school year. Bye.